All right, today we're setting sail into one of the all-time great adventure stories, the epic journey of Captain Blood. It's this incredible tale about a good man who's deeply wronged and how he forges a new destiny for himself on the high seas. So, let's dive right in. And really, the whole thing boils down to this one fascinating question. How on earth does a quiet, peaceful doctor, a man of healing, end up becoming the most feared pirate in the entire Caribbean? I mean, we're not just talking about a career change here. This is a complete transformation of a man, right down to his soul. So, let's set the scene. The year is 1685. England is an absolute mess, just torn apart by this political firestorm called the Monmouth Rebellion. And right in the middle of all this, we meet our guy, Dr. Peter Blood. And this really shows you the heart of the conflict. You've got the entire country exploding in rebellion and war, and then you have Peter Blood. He's a man of science, a man of peace. He is literally more interested in his books and his garden than in who sits on the throne. To him, all this political fighting is just a bunch of noise. So what brings him down? What's his great crime? It's not some grand conspiracy. It's his own medical oath. He gets called to treat a wounded man who happens to be a rebel. For Blood, it's not a political statement. It's just his job to help someone who's hurt. But to the government, that single act of kindness is treason. And this quote right here shows you the brutal black and white logic he was up against. The law was simple and completely unforgiving. By patching up a rebel, Peter Blood was now considered a traitor himself. His own compassion sealed his fate.
So he's sentenced to hang. You'd think that's the end of it. But no, fate has something arguably worse in store for him. Instead of a quick death, his sentence is changed. He's to be shipped to the Caribbean and sold like cattle.
10 pounds. That's it. That's the price tag they put on this brilliant physician. He's reduced to mere cargo. And along with the other convicts, he's sent across the ocean to a life of back-breaking labor. I mean, just look at the whiplash here. One day, he's a free, respected professional in England. The next, he's property in Barbados, a slave, owned by the cruel Colonel Bishop. All his knowledge, his skills, totally worthless. He's just another body to be worked to death on a sugar plantation. But you can't keep a man like Peter Blood caged forever, and as cruel as fate has been, it's about to throw him a lifeline in the most chaotic and violent way you can imagine. A Spanish fleet suddenly attacks the town. It's total chaos, right? Everyone is panicking. But while they're all running for their lives, Blood's mind goes into overdrive. He sees his chance. He gets his fellow slaves together, and in this incredibly bold move, they storm and capture one of the Spanish ships. Just like that, they're free from the plantation and sailing straight into the lawless expanse of the sea. So, yeah, he's broken out of his physical prison. But, in a way, he's just traded a small cage for a much, much bigger one. He's now an outlaw, a man with no country, hunted by basically everyone. To survive, the man known as Dr. Peter Blood has to disappear so that someone new can take his place. And this is it. This is the moment the legend of Captain Blood is born. He decides if he's going to live this life, he's going to do it on his own terms. He's not going to be a victim anymore. He's going to become a force of nature. He's going to be a pirate with principles. And his code tells you everything you need to know about him. He never forgets he's a doctor, he fights with honor, he wages a very personal war, targeting only the Spanish as a stand-in for the injustice of the world. And it turns out, this quiet doctor is an absolute genius when it comes to naval strategy, constantly outsmarting his enemies. And here's a really telling detail. He captures this amazing Spanish ship and makes it his own. And what does he name it? The Airebella. That was the name of his old master's niece, the only person who showed him any kindness when he was a slave. It just goes to show you, even as a feared pirate, he can't quite escape his past. This really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? He's not in this for the gold. For him, this is about payback. Spain just happens to be the symbol, the scapegoat for every corrupt law and cruel man that put him in this position. Every ship he takes is another blow against that system. So for years, Captain Blood becomes this larger-than-life figure. His name is whispered in fear across the Spanish Main. But his journey, his odyssey, isn't over yet. There's one last incredible act to come, and with it,
a shot at the one thing he thought was lost forever: redemption.
And just like that, the whole world turns upside down again. Back in England, there's a revolution. The king who condemned blood gets kicked off the throne. Suddenly, England has a new king and a new enemy, France. And you know the old saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
So get this. They make Captain Blood an offer that seems impossible. They want him, the pirate, the outlaw, to take a commission in the Royal Navy and save the English colony of Jamaica from the French. Can you imagine? He has to decide whether to help the very same government that betrayed him.
Oh, and the irony here is just perfect. Guess who was supposed to be in charge of defending Jamaica? None other than Colonel Bishop, his old, cruel master. But Bishop, being a coward, has already fled, leaving the island wide open for attack. The only person who can save it is the slave he once delighted in tormenting. So, Blood accepts the commission, and what he does next is nothing short of legendary. He uses his brilliant tactical mind to take on the entire French fleet, and he wins. He saves Jamaica so decisively that even the English lords have to admit that there's no one better. He proves his worth beyond all doubt. And for this incredible act of heroism, he gets a reward beyond his wildest dreams. Not just a full pardon. They make Peter Blood the new governor of Jamaica. The pirate is now the law. The slave is now the master. His long, agonizing odyssey has finally come full circle. But that leaves us with this one last thought. After everything he's been through, after being a slave, a pirate, and now a hero, who is he, really? Can a man who was forged in the fire of such injustice ever truly leave that fire behind? Can you go back to being Peter Blood after you've been Captain Blood? It's a question that makes his story absolutely timeless. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.